I love the start of a new year. Not because of resolutions, not because of hype, not because the calendar magically fixes everything, but I love the start of a new year because it reminds me of something that most men forget. Your life is shaped by the stories that you tell yourself, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, every single day. And I know this because the life that I live today should not exist based off of the man that I used to be. Let's talk about it. Most men wear masks. My name is Eric Wayne Wade. I meet with men just like you every week to break the silence, unmask, and embrace vulnerability to rise into the men we were created to be. At one point in my life, I weighed 62 pounds heavier than what I am right now. Now, it's not because I didn't know what to do. It's not because I was missing information. It's because of the story I was telling myself. This is just the way I was built. Um, I'll take care of it later. I've tried before and it didn't work. And the stories that I was telling myself, it gave me permission to stay stuck. And so when I stopped telling myself, this is just how I am, and I started telling myself, this is what I'm tolerating, everything began to shift. I started to see what a healthier version of myself lived like, what it looked like, not just the idea of not eating as much or eating healthier foods or exercising, but I would buy gym clothes. Got a gym membership. A healthier version of me gets up and moves around first thing in the morning. And I started to build on this little by little, day after day, by plan and intention. And the results came. I spent 14 years on a hamster wheel of marijuana addiction. 14 years of telling myself that I need this to relax, or that it makes me more creative, or it's not really a problem. And in 2026, I'll celebrate 10 years free from that addiction. Now, again, this freedom didn't come from behavior, it came from truth and the stories that I started telling myself. I stopped telling myself that I need this, that it's just who I am, and that everybody does it. It's not a big deal. And I started to envision a life that wasn't dictated by me strategically mapping out my day of pockets of time that I would use and trying not to get caught and trying to sneak it here and hide it here. And the grip began to loosen. For years, I couldn't fathom the thought of going to a family gathering, a concert, a sporting event without consuming alcohol. And the story I would tell myself was, this is how I loosen up. This is how I fit in. This is how I enjoy myself. And today, I don't feel the need to turn to alcohol in any setting. And it's not because alcohol is evil, but it's because my story changed. The story became, I don't need anything external to help me feel present, to help me feel grounded, confident, to be able to enjoy myself. I was also a man who couldn't remain faithful in relationships. And I need to say this clearly, that didn't change by promising harder or feeling guiltier. It changed when I made the decision to confront the stories beneath the behaviors. The lies that I was telling myself, that I was unworthy, I wasn't good enough, or I needed external validation. And the inner work meant identifying the patterns, taking responsibility, and changing the narrative. Today, I'm a loyal husband, not white knuckling it, but completely free. So here's the pattern I see looking back. Every breakthrough in my life started with what I believed and what I repeated long before it became present in any behavior. Many great scriptures align perfectly with this message. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It doesn't say as a man tries or as a man wants, as a man thinks. Another great one in Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. This isn't metaphor. This is instruction. What you speak reinforces what you believe. And what you believe shapes what you become. Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation doesn't begin with effort, it begins with renewal. And Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I've set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. Every blessing and every curse is connected to choice. And every choice begins in the mind. And this is why I love the new year. It's not because the date has power, but it's because it gives men permission to pause and ask, what stories am I telling myself? What stories are keeping me stuck? What stories need to die? Look, a new year won't change you, but it does give you an opportunity to choose differently. This is precisely the work that we do in Mountain Men. Listen, we don't motivate men. We don't hype men. We help men identify the narratives that's been controlling and running their lives emotionally, spiritually, practically, and then replace them with truth, discipline, and self-leadership. Because when that story changes, behavior will follow. If you're watching this and you're tired of repeating the same cycles, carrying the same weight, fighting the same internal battles, I need you to hear this. Your past does not disqualify you, but the story you keep telling yourself might. So 2026 can be different, and not by trying harder, but by simply choosing life. And it starts with what you think and what you say. Follow for more. Let's make 2026 the best year ever.